the trend is that China is transiting to this 5.5% growth by the end of the year. But I think there's a little nuance behind these numbers. As you mentioned earlier, the Chinese industrial production seems to be quite strong, which is supported by very strong external demand. But on the other hand, although the retail sales for June relatively strong, but the overall consumption for the first half of the year has not met market expectation. So I would say mediocre domestic consumption recovery, not back to pre-COVID level, but however, very strong export, very strong production in China. At the same time that Chinese policy have started to ease towards, let's say, less of tightening bias, which have suggested by the latest cut.
Do you see this trend to continue? Because the worry is that second half things will slow down, Bo.
I think the industrial production and strong export growth likely to stay for the next couple of months for two reasons. One, developed market demand has stayed very strong. At the same time that the China's competitors, i.e. some of the emerging markets, are facing a second wave and third wave. So which means that if you want to buy goods, you've got to buy you've got to make an order in China. So therefore, I would say in the foreseeable few months, 3 to 4 months, the Chinese export growth and industrial production will stay strong. So therefore, I'm less concerned about the growth in second half of the year, are likely to fall below 5.5%.
Right. Stephen, your take on the data out and what it means for the markets in terms of investor sentiment?
I think much in line with expectations. It continues a trend that we've seen. It does show that at the moment that China is continuing to grow relatively in isolation against the rest of the Asian region, and that gives me some concerns for maintaining the momentum for export growth during the second half of this year. It was interesting in the statement that was made this morning that the authorities are still viewing the recovery as basically being rather unbalanced. So that shows that we've still got problems with bottlenecks. We can see that there are issues as far as shipments of goods into export markets and so forth. And those sorts of things are going to continue to exercise pressure, not just in China, but elsewhere around the world during the course of the second half. So I think this sort of uneven profile of recovery in China and elsewhere is going to continue. So we could see some choppy data for a few more months to come.